to the AL East has been a success so far, taking 2 of 3 in Toronto, then winning the last 2 games in New York for their first series win in the Bronx since 2014. For their final stop, the Rays arrive in Boston, where the big league's best slugger, J.D. Martinez, awaits. We welcome you to the oldest and smallest ballpark in the major leagues, Fenway Park in Boston. Tonight, the Rays continue this 3-city road trip, opening a 3-game series against the Red Sox. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Well, the Rays have gone 4-2 on this road trip so far. In fact, they've won 5 of their last 7. By and large, on the strength of their pitching top to bottom. And BA, when you look at this offense put together by the Boston Red Sox, it could be all hands on deck for the Rays pitching, and it's been pretty good pitching lately.
It really has. I'm going to tell you what, for the Rays pitching plans to work, they need contributions from everybody. And guess what? That's exactly what we've seen on this road trip. 6 games into the trip, they've only given up 9 runs on the trip. Only 8 of them earned in 52 innings. That's an ERA of 1.38. They've held opposing hitters to a 179 average. And like I said, it has been top to bottom. The openers and the starters have done a great job of getting the Rays off to fast starts. And then, of course, the bullpen has filled in very well from there. No better than Adam Kolarek and what he did in yesterday's ball game. Bases loaded, nobody out, finishing off with a 95-mile-an-hour strikeout. And Dwayne, this is what you're talking about. Names up and down this lineup that are trouble, but this is the guy you got to focus on first and foremost. As you see, leads Major League Baseball with 37 homers, 104 driven in already. We still got a month and a half to play. A real student of the game, comes in very well prepared and obviously takes that preparation and knows how to put it into practice.
On the other side of the coin, the Rays lineup will be facing 3 lefties. 3 left-handed starters in this series. The Rays are 20-15 in games started by lefties. And when we come back, Michelle Margot will break out this 3 left-handed pitching the Rays will see in this series. Rays coming into Boston off a series victory in New York over the Yankees, and tonight it will be the beginning of a 3-game series here against the first place Boston Red Sox. They lead the East by 10.5 games. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Rays, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Malik Smith's going to lead it off, followed by Matt Duffy at third, and then Tommy Pham in left field. C.J. Cron is at first. Joey Wendell will be at second base, hitting fifth in front of the designated hitter Carlos Gomez. Kevin Kiermaier in there in center field with Willie Adames batting eighth at short. Michael Perez, the catcher, will bat ninth.
Well, taking the mound tonight for the Boston Red Sox is going to be left-hander Brian Johnson. He's making his 9th start of the season. You can see he started the season in the bullpen, was moved into the starting rotation at the end of June 28th to be exact. Actually, he's done a nice job. Overall, has done a nice job, but as a starter, he is 3-1 with a 3.21 in his 8 starts. Let's take a look at the defense and see how it's going to line up behind him here tonight. Brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. And in that outfield left to right, we've got Andrew Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Mookie Betts. Across the infield, third to first, Eduardo Nunez, Xander Bogaerts, Ian Kinsler just off the disabled list, and Mitch Moreland with Blake Swihart getting the call behind the plate.
Alex Cora has his club 50. Yes, that's right. 50 games over 500, 86 and 36. And the Rays make their first appearance here under Kevin Cash for the first time since April the 29th. They opened with 2 series in April here against the Red Sox. And now the first pitch tonight to Malik Smith is a little bit wide. We are underway. Malik's starting the night hitting .299. The ground ball right side, a base hit for Malik Smith to start this one. Boy, Malik's came into the game hitting .339 against lefties, and he leads off with a base hit through the right side of the infield.
Boy, everything that he is touching right now is turning to gold. He is on a hot streak, and right here, a fastball, middle of the plate. Hammers this ball to the right side and finds an opening. And when things are going good, that's exactly how it happens.
Here's Matt Duffy. Now looks over there at first. Draws a toss from Brian Johnson. Rays will be facing 3 left-handers. Brian Johnson tonight, David Price tomorrow night. Sunday afternoon, it'll be Chris Sale.
And the interesting thing about all of that is you've got 3 completely different and distinct styles of pitcher. And they progressively get better through the weekend.
Yeah, Brian Johnson tops out the upper 80s with his 4-seamer, 88, 89, somewhere in that neighborhood. There's a variety of pitches he features. Ground ball down in front of Matt Quattaro, the third base coach. And it's 0-2. Well, a little rain delay here. The game a few minutes late getting started. But now partly cloudy skies, 75 degrees, a comfortable evening in Boston. Ground ball right side, that's Kinsler. Bogaerts one over to first. They turn the double play 4-6-3, and erases that leadoff base hit by Malik Smith.
Well, you saw the curveball there. Brian Johnson really likes that pitch against righties, and then it becomes pretty standard. Ian Kinsler, we said fresh off the disabled list, a little flip to Bogaerts over to Moreland. That's how you get it done.
Base is empty now for Tommy Pham. Pham back in the lineup in New York yesterday. Doubled his first time up, was on base 3 times with a double, a single, and a walk. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. Nothing.
Brian Johnson pitching Pham very carefully here after falling behind. changing speeds, but that's his game. He's got to move the ball around the zone.
Takes it 3-1.
We talked about it a little bit in the pregame show about Pham and Crone getting them going in this series.
There's a walk. Takes the pitch down. The Rays get another base runner following the double play ball.
And Johnson's just not going to give in. The guys that can do damage off of him, the power guys in this Rays lineup, if he falls behind, does not have the stuff to live out over the plate. So he is going to nibble.
Here is C.J. Crone. Career high 22 home runs on the year. And a shot down the left field side. That ball is a fair ball off the Green Monster. Hitting third is Pham, and now he's going to put on the brakes. He made a big turn at third. It's a double for Crone, second and third for the Rays. Crone's 22nd double.
And didn't waste any time, Dwayne. He's going to go out there, be ready to hit. Four-seam fastball, catches way too much plate, actually ends up in. And Crone just didn't get it high enough. Laser beam off the left field wall. Great job by Matt Quatraro where he positions himself. See how he gets right into the line of sight of Tommy Pham. He's not out wide. He almost gets right on that baseline to make sure that Tommy picks him up and stops, because if he doesn't, he was going to be dead at the plate.
Joey Wendell takes a strike. Wendell hitting .293 on the year. .304 against lefties. It's inside. Rays with 4 left-handed hitters in the lineup, and 2 of them, Smith and Wendell, hitting better against left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching this year. That's a liner into right. There's a base hit. Back toward the corner. Pham scores. Crone's going to score. It's a double for Wendell, and the Rays break out in front. It's a 2-0 ball game.
Well, how about all of this with 2 outs? And it was the 2-out walk that got it started. A good at bat by Pham. Crone jumps on a first pitch fastball, and Joey Wendell continues to torment lefties. He gets the breaking ball. It does not sweep far enough away, and it's not down. And Wendell been doing a much better job of getting the ball into the air. Does it once again, and he gives the Rays an early lead.
Well, Carlos Gomez, he's after that first pitch, missing the fastball, strike 1.
Boy, how about coming right in here against this team and sending a message early? You are going to be in for a fight.
Pitch is upstairs. 1-1. Rays come in 4-9 against Boston, 2-4 here at Fenway. Another pitch high. 2 balls and a strike. Rays facing the left-hander Brian Johnson out of Cocoa Beach, Florida. Runner breaks, and the pitch lined into left. There's a base hit. Wendell's going to score. Big turn by Gomez. He hangs on at first, and the Rays make it 3-0. Gomez shot that one through the left side.
Boy, this is interesting. You know, you see a lot of hit and runs with the middle infielders being out of position, and guys find open holes. But you're going to see right here, Eduardo Nunez over there at third base. Now, Joey Wendell's going to take off. He's heading to cover. Gomez hits the ball right where he was. So you see it work out there down the line. You don't see that very often.
Well, it's an interesting concept, you know, starting that base runner. If he can get that good jump to get the defense out of position.
And, you know, you see that up the middle.
Yep.
You hit and run. You hit behind the guy, the shortstop, the second baseman, depending on who's going to cover. When was the last time you saw it a third?
I can't remember.
Me either. I'll tell you what, everything clicking early on.
Runner breaks. Kevin Kiermaier goes after this one, pops it up on the infield. And the third baseman, Nunez, makes the catch. Well, the Rays send 7 men to the plate. They score 3. 3-0 Tampa Bay. Rays putting up 3 in the top half of the inning, sending Ryan Stanek to the mound against this lineup. Presented by your Southern Ford dealers, Mookie Betts, Andrew Benintendi, and Mitch Moreland, the top 3, followed by the DH J.D. Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, Ian Kinsler, then Eduardo Nunez, Blake Swihart, and Jackie Bradley Jr.
Well, for the 20th time, Ryan Stanek will open up a ball game here after pitching in yesterday's ball game. Comes right in here. Is going to start this one. He's worked 28 1/3 as an opener, an ERA at 2.51, 40 strikeouts, big strikeout numbers.
Well, Mookie Betts leading the league at 3.52. First pitch is a ball. 27 home runs out of the leadoff spot for Betts. Upstairs, 2-0.
Well, they can swing the stick in this lineup.
Yes, they can.
When you think about the combination of those two guys, the power, the production, the average, the on base, hit righties, hit lefties.
Stanek promptly falls behind Betts, 3-0.
You got to believe, after how much we've seen Ryan Stanek and how well he's done in this role, nerves. You know, I mean, this is a big series. These guys have been looking forward to this all road trip long. There you go.
Now strike 3 and 1.
You get amped up for these things, and when you get a guy that throws as hard as Stanek amped up.
Well, not only does Betts have power, but that on-base percentage is .450 in that leadoff spot. Now he takes a strike, and it's 3 and 2.
Yeah, he brings it all. You know, he's one of those guys that you're going to hear his name in the talk of American League MVP all season long. There are a number of really good candidates. His teammate J.D. Martinez, Mike Trout, the duo over in Cleveland, Lindor and Ramirez.
3-2 is skied toward short left. Pham, and now that's Kiermaier in left center. Pham was coming in, had trouble finding it, and Kiermaier in left center made the catch.
Well, let's take a look at that Rays defense. Brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. And Dwayne, you knocked out left and right already with Pham and Kiermaier. Then we got Malik Smith, and across that infield third to first, Duffy, Adames, Wendell, and Crone with Michael Perez behind the plate.
There's Andrew Benintendi. Benintendi starting the night, hitting .298. Upstairs, some gaudy offensive numbers in this Boston lineup, top to bottom. They've scored 665 runs this year, tops in that department. 1-1.
And they can beat you so many ways. You know, their power is back. They've already matched their 2017 season total in home runs, but they run a ton. Only the Cleveland Indians have more stolen bases than they do.
Yeah, they have 96 stolen bases.
And they don't get thrown out much.
It's down 2-1. Yeah, they're 96 steals, 22 caught stealings. And all of that has led to 5.5 runs a game tops, average tops, slugging percentage tops, and it's second in the other three categories: home runs, on base, and steals. Liner into right field. That will fall one hop in front of Malik Smith. So Mitch Moreland will make his way to the plate. One out single by Benintendi. Moreland comes in hitting .254, 14 home runs. He's put the shift on for him. Adames on the right side of second. Number, that's a foul ball. Boy, Perez quick to jump on that, but it was a foul ball. Chad Whitson making that call.
Everybody's quick twitch tonight. Everybody on alert.
Perez, one of a number of Rays to have never played at Fenway. Adames, Perez, and the strike. Jake Bauer's not in the lineup, but he's not played here. Castillo, Glasnow, Caleri, Wow, Wood, all their first exposure here to Fenway.
Remarkable how the overturn on this team. I mean, you just have completely flipped the roster. You name off all those guys, this is a division team.
Move to first.
If we're in Wrigley, it makes sense.
Yeah, interleague and all that.
Yeah, it's just incredible the way that the Rays have just turned over the roster and sit where they are in the win-loss column.
And a move over there, and boy, you got the feeling that Benintendi wanted to move. And Stanek keeps an eye on him.
Well, Stanek has not given up a stolen base here in 2018. Has not even had an attempt off of him. Maybe Benintendi wants to be the first. You got to be careful, though. That run right at this point doesn't mean a whole lot. Down 3-0.
Pitch in the dirt. It's going to bound away from Perez, and Benintendi makes a turn but stops at second. And that got part of Perez. That slowed his progress.
That was a split, and he didn't have a chance to win. Look how far in front of the plate. You see how it kicked up way higher than Perez anticipated, and right off his shoulder. Just nothing that he could do.
Wild pitch moves Benintendi into second. Shot to center field. Kiermaier on the track will make the catch. Benintendi tags and heads to third. He'll be there with 2 outs. Two gone with Benintendi at third for the designated hitter, J.D. Martinez. Martinez first in homers and runs batted in, and second in average, only to his teammate Mookie Betts.
And that's why he's not going to win the Triple Crown, because Mookie Betts at this point coming into play was 19 points ahead of him at 352. And we can only blame his teammate. How about the RBIs? 104. We've got a month and a half left to play. I mean, his numbers are going to be.
Takes a pitch low. Martinez hitting over 400 for the month of August.
Wait till we get to our scouting report on Mookie Betts.
Going away.
He can't catch him.
No, because Mookie's hitting better than Martinez in this month.
by a pretty good margin.
Yeah. How about that? You go, well, I'm going to hit 404. Oh, yeah?
How about this?
Yeah.
I'm
going to run away from that. That's what Betts has done. It's fouled right back. 99-mile-per-hour fastball. It's 2-1. 93. 98 right there. That's about the average velocity for Stanek in that neighborhood of 98, 97.9 to be exact. Topped out a little over 100. 3-1. Now the count's going to go full. Slider at 91.
JD banking on another 97, 98 mile an hour heater and just could not hold up on the swing. And now you've got Stanek out there who, at this point, the hitter like this at the plate, you could catch him with anything. Split, if you'll go with the slider, double up on it.
Into the dirt. And he walked him.
That right there, Dwayne, is the classic case of I just threw a nasty slider on 3-1. I'm going to make it even nastier on 3-2, and you end up yanking it right into the ground.
So 2 men on with 2 men out. Kyle Snyder is going to trot to the mound here before they pitch to Xander Bogaerts. The Rays already have some action in the bullpen. Yanni Chirinos figures to follow Stanek, and he's up already. Well, Bogaerts certainly has kept up his end of the bargain, and against the Rays, look at this, 9 doubles with a .378 average against the Rays.
Those were the April Rays.
Yep.
This is a new group.
Two on, 2 out. Fastball way upstairs. Boy, there's no let up against this lineup, top to bottom. There's a strike, top of the strike zone at 98. Well, you figure it's going to be like this all night against this lineup and this offense, whole series for that matter.
These are the series that, as a pitcher, you get mentally exhausted as well as physically, putting so much into every pitch, having to think so much. You know, when you think about, you know, when Yanni Chirinos comes in, you figure he's going to go through the lineup at least twice.
Yep.
And with hitters of this ilk, you've got to change up your sequences. There are no soft spots in the lineup.
Popped up foul, that will carry out of play. And that's the other thing about this, that ball would be out of play anywhere, but there's just no foul territory here to allow a pitcher to think he might get a pop foul. I mean,
oh,
this is a hitter's deluxe situation here at Fenway.
Anti-Oakland.
Yes. Two and two the count. And it's fouled again. More hard stuff. That one at 99. Pitch count at 26. Benintendi single. He's at third. Martinez walked on first now. 2 outs. 2-2. Popped up. That will come back and be foul, out of play. Perez goes to the backstop, but well back and out of play onto the screen.
We got a pretty good battle going on right here. One fastball after the other. Bogart's trying to hang in there, and the Red Sox trying to answer what the Rays did in the top half. Came out firing. I mean, 2 outs, nobody on after a double play ball. And the Rays able to plate 3 runs.
Two, and that's a bit wide right there.
I'll tell you, that's a good take. You see all of those fastballs in the upper 90s, and then Stanek throws a slider that's just off the plate, and you don't get a chase. That's some discipline.
Full count. And a shot into left center field. On the run, Kiermaier. It's going to be over his head. 2 runs will score. Bogaerts will head to third, and he's in there with a triple. That ball loose, except it hit the bag. And the Rays got a nice break there. It's 3-2.
Is it going to be one of those series?
Apparently so.
Wow. What an answer here by Boston. A great extended at bat by Bogaerts. He goes and gets that fastball at that velocity on the edge or just off the plate and is able to get it that deep. Kiermaier thought he had a chance at it. You see him pull off of that, almost overran it a little bit. And then off the wall and off to the races. This is what you're talking about, Dwayne. If that ball does not hit the bag, it's tied.
For Bogaerts, his 3rd triple of the year. RBI 73 and 74. Here's Ian Kinsler. This pitch is high. Kinsler coming over from the Angels with Pedroia on the sidelines. Today's Pedroia's birthday, by the way. Kinsler back active. A swing and a miss. It's 1-1.
And I think Boston really all season long was holding out hope that Dustin would be able to make it back at some point. I think that they have abandoned that hope at this point. And I'll tell you what, not a bad guy to stick in there behind him. Ian Kinsler has been so productive for so many years. Aggressive hitter, good in the field.
Ground ball third, gloved by Duffy. Across to first to retire the side. 2-run score for Boston. A man left. We're at the end of an inning. 3-2 Rays. So it's 3-2 Rays. And Willie Adames set to open the second inning against Brian Johnson. Takes the pitch for a ball. Adames hitting .252, 6 home runs. Strike 1-1. Well, an intense first inning right there, folks. And it's a 1-run ball game. 2-1 here to Adames. One. Ray scored 3 runs on 4 hits and a walk off Johnson in the first. It's a chopper left side. That's gloved by Nunez. Throw to first. In time the call, and Adames thought he beat the play. And the Rays are going to have the video room update them on that one.
Boy, there was a lot happening out there. First of all, the glove by Nunez, a tough hop on a chopper. That was pretty special. Then the throw and the scoop, and everything's so close over there. Moreland doing a great job of bailing him out. We'll see if they end up getting the out. They're calling Willie back to the dugout. That's not an easy little hop right there to handle. And then he just tries to do anything he can to get it over there, get it low with something on it, just in time.
Boy, they just did get him. That's quite a play by Nunez down at third.
And you love how Moreland, see how he's getting down and his eyes behind the glove, get a better read on that scoop.
Michael Perez takes a strike. Nothing in 2 against this lefty. Johnson originally drafted by the Dodgers out of high school in '09, but decided to go to college, went to the University of Florida. It's now 1-1. Two. Fly ball into right field. That's Betts waiting for it. He makes the catch. 2 gone. Johnson, 27 years old, and it hasn't been all that easy for him. He's had some shoulder issues and hip issues coming up through the Red Sox system. This pitch is down, 1-0. University of Florida, Mike Zunino was his catcher, and Zunino knocked him out.
Is this something he said?
Guy trying to steal second, and Zunino fired a ball down and hit Johnson in the head and knocked him out.
I thought he got lippy after practice or something. Well, that's scary too.
How about that?
You're expecting that throw, and you duck and you do everything you can to get out of the way, but you trust that your catcher is going to make the right throw too. And if they go low and you get low bridged, that's scary.
Alex takes it low. It's 3-1. The following year, he went into pro ball, and Joey Rickard, who was in the Rays farm system at the time, hit a line drive and fractured that orbital socket in his left eye. He was pitching against Hudson Valley. So he really has had a difficult time getting that career started. And here he is at 27. Pitching for the Red Sox, and he strikes out Malik Smith. A 1-2-3 second. We go to the bottom half of inning 2. It's 3-2 Rays. WB Mason. Who but WB Mason, the official office supply company of the Tampa Bay Rays. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Rays in Boston tonight, beginning a 3-game series. Night game tomorrow, day game on Sunday, and then the Rays are back home at Tropicana Field. Ryan Stanek opened and worked the front inning, and now Yanni Chirinos will take over, making his 11th appearance.
Well, an ERA of 3.50 and 46+ innings of work.
Eduardo Nunez takes a pitch down, 1-0.
And really, it was Chirinos' work against this Boston lineup, first couple outings of the season, that put him on the map.
Ball hit toward the line and right. Malik Smith is there and makes the catch into the wall. Hangs onto the ball, and I think he's all right, but the Rays are going to take a look. Let's hope so. Boy, his chest went into the wall, and he appears to be okay, but the Rays will double check to make sure. Boy, that's a great catch by Malik, challenging the wall. And his torso right on the top edge of the wall. Take a look again.
Boy, jumped right into it, and there is no give when you get to the top. Even that padding is pretty sturdy, and he makes the catch, and yeah, the rib cage right into the top of that low wall. Actually lost his hat into the stands too, somewhere down there. Had to be given back to him, but he's not coming out of this game. Forget it, fellas.
Well, put a big star by that one for Malik Smith to retire Eduardo Nunez. Fans down there got a close look and give him a hand.
Oh, man.
Into the glove, he hangs onto that ball and then crashes into the wall. Kiermaier over there to give a little support. One away now, the catcher Blake Swihart. Inside. Swihart hitting .226. Lifts it into left. Spam back near the track, and he makes the catch. One-handed grab off to the left. I'm not sure if he was all that comfortable even tracking that one. He had difficulty in the first inning tracking a fly ball caught by Kiermaier, and that was not exactly routine.
You know, and the one in the first inning, it's that twilight where the sky gets a little hazy and you can understand it, but now, you know, it's getting to be pretty pitch black, so I have to keep an eye on that.
Look from the outfield. Base hit through the open left side. Bradley Jr. is aboard. And now we'll go to the top of the order. Mookie Betts.
Well, here's our scouting report, Dwayne, and we talked about it earlier. Could this be the AL MVP? I mean, when you look at his season, you know, the batting average of .352 coming in, the on base so high, 27 homers. He's got 11 defensive runs saved in the outfield according to that metric. So well-rounded and an awesome August. That .449 average, an on base of .557 in the month of August to go along with 12 extra base hits, including 8 doubles, and that's in 13 games.
Yeah, he's getting stronger, better as the season progresses. These are supposed to be the dog days of August, but not for Mookie Betts. Well, he's shown signs of being a special talent from the time he broke in. And we talk about the exciting players in this game. High pop foul. And that ball is just out of the reach. Crone went to the railing in front of the dugout and could not come up with it.
And how does the Boston dugout feel about this? I mean, because they don't want him, obviously, to make the catch, but they're also like, really? Yeah, I mean, they all became targets. That close.
Upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. League's leading hitter up here, Mookie Betts.
You know what?
2-2.
You know what really makes him special is his hands and his bat. They're so quick that it allows him that extra split second of time for pitch recognition, because he can trust my hands can get there. I can hang in there a little bit longer than everybody else because of how quick my bat is.
And when you think of the truly exciting players now, Betts, Altuve, Trout, Lindor, they all are sort of like that. They're dynamic and they have a great eye and can wait.
Yeah. Yep. Electric hands. You know, some of those guys you named, they're not very big guys, but boy, do they pack a punch.
Inside, the count's going to go to 3-2 on Betts. With 2 strikes, his average over 300.
And that, I mean, without a doubt, those are good numbers overall, let alone when you're hitting with your back to the wall.
And a cut to miss. He got it with that fastball up, strikes him out. A hit, no runs, a man left. Rays lead 3-2. Baseball.com/steal. Purchase press level tickets to the game Saturday against the Red Sox for just $30. First pitch here is a ball. Duffy checked in time. That's a 50% savings, by the way. Today only. And the strike 1-1. Go to RaysBaseball.com/steal to get that deal. play. They'll be now behind in the count 1-2. They'll be grounding into a 4-6-3 double play in the first inning ahead of the Rays breaking out for a 3-run first.
And that was on a curveball. And see if he goes back to it, which he does. I'd say that's the one pitch that Brian Johnson, when he gets ahead of right-handed hitters, really prefers the curve over everything else. He'll do it again.
It's lifted into center. Bradley Jr. going back, and just as he hits the track, takes care of that. So 1 away for Tommy Pham. Pham got back into the lineup yesterday in New York. Doubled his first time to drive in a run. Also singled and walked in the game. Officially went 2 for 3. Looks that pitch, a fastball, a little close. That catches the outside part of the plate, says Chad Whitson. This one is down, 2-1. Little part of the order now for the Rays, with Crone, the cleanup man, on deck. Pham ahead, 3 balls and a strike. Fouls it back. He shoots it into center field, well tagged. Bradley Jr. leaps, makes the catch. Oh my! A hard hit line drive, and Jackie Bradley Jr. turned in a great grab. Wow! Pham still can't believe it. Boy, what a catch on a hot shot line drive to center.
Neither can your partner. My goodness, this is a missile. And how in the world Jackie Bradley Jr., you talk about efficiency of route and getting to top end speed. What a play. Even from that angle, didn't look like there was any chance he was going to get there.
He's running right to the 379 marker to make that leaping catch. Boy, you're just not going to see one much better than that. What a grab by Jackie Bradley Jr. Now that ball just foul outside of third. Well, that was close.
And you see Bogarts already peeling back to play that ball that was going to hit hard off the low wall. Make sure that he kept Crone to a single.
Yeah, that's standard fare here at Fenway. If you're playing shortstop, especially for a visiting shortstop, to come in here and be aware of that.
Well, we've seen the Rays victimized by not being aware of that.
Way high there. 2-1. It's popped up, foul. The catcher Swihart handles that. And the Rays are out in the third, but boy, what a catch to rob Tommy Pham of extra bases. Jackie Bradley Jr. It just doesn't get any better. with right-hander Yanni Chirinos on the hill. He worked the second and will face Andrew Benintendi. The first pitch misses, and now Benintendi, who singled in the first inning, ahead in the count. Rays pitching tonight, just 2 of 11 in first pitch strikes.
Not a very good recipe in this ballpark, not a very good recipe against this lineup. So you'd like to see them turn that around lickety split.
And to left, Pham has that one in his sights and makes the catch. One out. Now the first baseman, Mitch Moreland. Fouls that one back. Chirinos following Stanek. Ball, 1 strike. One ball, 2 strikes.
Chirinos getting good velocity on the fastball, and that split plays off of it very, very well, as Mitch Moreland just got a taste of. A lot of late darting action on Chirinos' pitches.
Counts 2-2. JD Martinez on deck. Ground ball up the middle. Ball handled by Adames. So that's a 6-3 to retire Mitch Moreland. Well, JD Martinez comes to the plate. He is having not only a great power and run production season, but look at this, longest home on base streak. And he drew the walk in the first inning to extend that to 50 consecutive games on base. Moving ahead of Wade Boggs and now chasing Ted Williams and Joe Foy. Pitch is fouled out of play. So a walk and a run scored for Martinez. Seven home runs, 104 runs batted in, leading the league in both departments. Fly ball right field. Alex Smith straightens up with that one and makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning for Chirinos. We go to the 4th, 3-2 Rays. Southern Chevy dealers. By Eldorado Furniture, a different kind of furniture store for over 50 years. And by your local Ford dealers. Joey Wendell set to lead off against the left-hander Brian Johnson. And he hits it on the ground right there. Ford Kinsler got a nice hop. Wendell is out. One pitch, one away. Well, just for the record, we mentioned Martinez moving ahead of Wade Boggs on their list of reaching base at home. Well, I guess here's a turnabout. Jose Ramirez has just hit a home run for Cleveland, and he catches Martinez for the American League lead in home runs with 37.
Here, I'm going to show it to you, Dwayne, right here on the phone. A little
Hit
ball
it from the left side.
Yep, middle in, right down the line, pretty deep. Actually, really deep. It's a nice blast. How about Jose Ramirez?
How about him? Strike the count on Gomez. Well, it's 0-2. Yeah, we talk about Lindor all the time, as people do, and Ramirez just forced his way right into the spotlight up there.
It was pretty remarkable because, you know, it was kind of like the situation with Andujar in New York. I mean, Ramirez really didn't have a position. And all of a sudden they fire him over at third, and, well, I guess he has a position now.
Yep. Gomez chases up and is out on strikes. Second strikeout for Brian Johnson. Well, the Rays got to him 3 runs, 4 hits in the first inning, but since then have not had a base runner. Retired 9 in a row. Kevin Kiermaier looks at a strike.
Every time you say Brian Johnson, I have a hard time thinking about a left-handed pitcher for the Red Sox. I keep thinking of the front man for AC/DC.
Well, there you are.
2 pretty good Brian Johnsons.
Yeah. This one is down. 2 balls and a strike. Ground ball right side. So a 1-2-3 inning. Kinsler throws out Kiermaier. Bottom of the 4th coming. 3-2 Rays.
Here at Fenway Park. Well, it is time now for your Chevy Prospect Spotlight. We're going to go all the way down to the GCL Rays. We're looking at left-handed pitcher Matthew Liberatore with the GCL Rays. He has 7 starts, owns a 1.19 ERA. He has struck out 24 in 22 2/3 innings. He was the 16th overall pick in this year's draft, and he was just 18 years old. And The Rays are very, very high on him. I remember very clearly from the draft, guys.
Yeah, those first-round lefties, special people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
we know all about that.
You've got me stumped. I don't want to take the bait, but I will. They are.
They are. Yes, they are.
Extremely.
Yep. Bogaerts takes a strike. There's another first pitch strike. The Rays. Chirinos here. There's a shot toward left center field. And that ball will be played on the carom. Kiermaier will get it back, and Bogaerts has himself a double.
I mean, extra bases against the Rays. You know, this was a guy that the Rays did a really nice job of a season ago, holding him down. And he was a lot of singles, a lot of balls on the ground, but now starting to elevate. He gets a Chirino sinker that stayed flat. Those balls up around the thighs and the waist are going to flatten out, and Bogaerts smoked it. Kiermaier here trying to play it off the wall quickly and maybe keep him to a single, but it took a weird bounce up in the air.
So the leadoff doubled, and just like that, the Red Sox have a threat in this one-run ball game. Ian Kinsler. Fastball is inside. Foul the other way, and it's 1-1. Toward right field. Alex Smith there to make the catch. A tag. Bogaerts will go to third, and Smith unleashed a throw all the way to Duffy at third, but Bogaerts beat the throw in.
Bogaerts going to challenge Malik Smith and try to get to third here with less than 2. Not much Malik could do. He gave it the strongest throw he could. Airs this thing out. Bogaerts a little too quick.
Eduardo Nunez with the infield pulled up. Overloaded on the third base side. It's a ball in. 1 ball, no strikes. One. Nunez trying to be quick on that fastball up. Nunez retired on that great play in foul territory up the right side by Malik Smith back in the 2nd inning. There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Chirinos took over in the 2nd inning. Working here in the 4th. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's a fair ball, and it kicks out into shallow left. The tying run will score. on the base hit by Nunez. Bogart scores the third run of the game for Boston.
And Eduardo Nunez, interesting turn he made down there at first base. First of all, he's able to hammer that ball up the line, keep it fair, and tie this game up. It's a split, and that split kind of sails across the plate, no biting action down. And he just swats it right past the diving Matt Duffy. But it's going to go off that low wall. Nice job by Tommy Pham coming in there quickly. See Willie Adames a little late, but he's pulled in. Nunez took an interesting turn down there at first. Thought for a minute maybe he had hurt himself. Seems to be fine.
Now Nunez aboard with Swihart the hitter. Ground ball. They'll get the tag on the lead man. And Swihart reaches on what turns out to be a fielder's choice. Boy, that's a strange feeling, I would imagine, for an infielder, as Adames made that pickup.
Yeah, well, you have the shift on, and Willie's playing right back here. So, you know, you get the ground ball that you want. You like to get the double play and get out of this thing. But guess what? There's absolutely no one to flip it to. So now you just go find the runner and make the tag. Could have stepped on the bag, whatever he wanted to do to get the out, but
Jackie Bradley Jr. at the plate. And a ground ball, backhanded by Wendell. Throw to first in time. Limits the damage to 1 run on a couple hits and a man left. 3-3 ball game through 4. Games over 500, leading the majors with 86 wins. That's the most ever through 122 games for Boston. They lead by 10.5 on a pace of 114 wins.
you know, here's the thing. The Boston franchise record is 105 wins, and they were saying if they just went 20-20 the rest of the way, they would break that record. And then you mentioned 114. That would be 2 off the all-time.
Yep.
It'll be interesting because do you want to go for it and then, you know, maybe exhaust some resources down the stretch?
1-1 pitch hammered to third by Adames. Nunez throws him out. You know, it's going to be interesting. You get a big lead like this, and you know they're looking toward the postseason. It's kind of a double-edged sword for a manager to somehow keep your team focused and with that edge going into the postseason.
You're absolutely right. I mean, more than likely, they're not going to be playing very many meaningful games in the month of September. And you want to keep your guys sharp and keep an edge to them, because when the postseason starts and you get on that stage, the division series, it's a different ball game. I mean, I know it's baseball, and I know it's 3 outs to a half an inning and 9 innings in a game. It's a different level of baseball. You can't describe it unless you've done it.
Yeah, you'd better be ready for it, because the other team is going to be ready.
Oh, exactly. And they're going to have been playing tough games down the stretch and in big moments. And so that will be something fascinating to watch once this all gets underway in about a month and a half.
3-1 here on Michael Perez facing Brian Johnson. And he's going to draw the walk.
I can remember in 2001 with the Diamondbacks, when we got into the playoffs, one of my teammates was Mike Morgan. And Mike Morgan had been in the league. That was his 23rd season in Major League Baseball, had never been to the playoffs. And he was a mess. He's a 23-year vet. And the first game out in the bullpen, sitting out with those guys, and he's pacing. I mean, he's all fidget. He was just like, it's just it's different. It's different. It's a bigger stage. I mean, certainly you settle in rather quickly, but I don't care how many years you have in the game. If you've not been there, it's different.
Alex Smith pops it up, retreating from third. Nunez is there, and he makes the catch.
BP's an event. You're excited for BP. Shagging all of a sudden becomes a blast because of all the media that's out there and all the attention on the games. And I'm done with my playoff rant. Back to baseball.
Well, but it's, back to the point of the Red Sox. You have a big lead like this, and you go on and do what they anticipate doing. There's some prep, and you have to figure out how you're going to prepare for the postseason. Duffy, there's a strike. What do you do with your bullpen? How do you align your pitching staff to prepare for the postseason?
Well, that's a plus to that, to line it up like you want based on the matchup you're going to get and all that stuff. And you manage innings, you keep everybody fresh. But again, it's about being in those big moments, and you don't think that you're just going to crank it up game one of the division series. And so, I mean, listen, they end the season with a 3-gamer against New York. Maybe that'll get them riled up.
Upstairs now, 2-1. Two outs. Perez, the runner at first. He's going to take the count to 2-2. Full count. High chop down to third. Throw to first. Nice play there by Nunez. We go to the bottom half of inning 5. Rays and the Red Sox tied. All right, Rich, thank you very much. It's a 3-3 ball game here. Rays put up 3 in the first. Boston answered with 2. Picked up another run in the 4th, and now the top of the order, Mookie Betts, to begin the bottom of the 5th against Yanni Chirinos. First pitch is a high fastball.
We've seen a number of those fastballs up and out of the zone from Chirinos. Most of them you'd like to see in the bottom 3rd. Certainly not there.
A big swing and a foul ball by Betts. You can see in attack mode there on that pitch.
Yeah, that pitch left right out over the heart of the plate. You know, Yanni does a lot of his good work, the bottom half, bottom 3rd of that zone with that sinker. He can climb the ladder every now and then, but you don't want him to live up there. That's when that pitch flattens out and becomes more hittable.
Foul back, that pitch in on him at 96.
I don't know if that velo jumping on that one. He was able to get Mookie Betts, struck him out on a fastball up and away. His last at bat.
And there's a high fly ball back to left center. Kiermaier's going to play it off the wall, extra bases. And it's second with a double. Leadoff double here in the 5th.
That was another pitch that was left up. This time not the sinker, looked to be the split. And again, that's a pitch you want to bottom out below the zone and get the chase, or get Betts to hit it into the ground, and instead he leaves it up and it is flat. Watch this thing come out and just kind of tumble. Doesn't really do much of anything, and that becomes too easy for a guy like Betts.
It's his 36th double of the year. Bogarts opened the 4th with a double. They got him home. Now Betts with a leadoff double in the 5th. Benintendi at the plate. Takes a pitch down. You go up and down this lineup, and it's one superlative after another. Benintendi, for an example, hitting .346, 7th in the league with men in scoring position. .298 overall coming into the game tonight. Ground ball right side. That moves Betts to 3rd. Wendell throws out Benintendi. And now the matchup for Chirinos will be Mitch Moreland. Moreland, fly ball to center and a ground ball to short. Perez stepping out in front of the plate there, and Chad Whitson chatting with him to see whether or not that would be a trip to the mound.
You haven't heard too much of that. You know, we always had those mound visits early on.
Moreland takes a strike.
Did he count it? Did he turn around and tell the press box?
I didn't see him make any motion. So I'm assuming that that was not a trip. A couple of steps toward the mound does not
constitute
a trip.
If you stay in the dirt.
Yeah, that's right.
Touch grass, that's a trip.
That's how it was explained to us. So if you stay in that circle, mound visits, each team with 5 remaining.
Baseball in 2018. Gotta love it.
Oh, up the middle, and that might have caught Chirinos. Base hit. Betts scores, and Moreland gives Boston a 4-3 lead. That ball sharply hit right through the middle. I don't know how Chirinos got out of the way if he did.
Here it is, Dwayne. Great look at it here. Oh, wow. I mean, right wrapped around the back of his legs and then off the glove. I wonder if that did clip his hamstring. I don't know if
Not
that
giving any indication, but I'll tell you, I don't know how it didn't. J.D. Martinez. It's a ball. So the Red Sox take the lead, 4-3. One big cut and a miss. Martinez part of the 2-run first inning with a walk and a run scored. He and Benintendi scored on the Bogarts triple. Foul ball, 1-2. Boston now with 4 runs, 7 hits. Foul ball. In with a fastball. Third plate appearance for J.D. Martinez tonight as we play in the 5th inning. Inside, 2-2. Bogarts on deck. A foul ball again. This one out of play. Chirinos worked on the 9th in the Baltimore series. Picked up the victory, his first big league win in a 5-4 decision. He worked 5 innings in that game, gave up a run. Touch for a couple runs in this one. One in the 4th and one here in the 5th, trying to get out of this. And he misses low, 3-2. Ground ball third, scooped by Duffy. He looked to second, had a little trouble getting rid of it, and makes the play to first, sending Moreland up to second.
Now that baseball got a little cozy in Matt Duffy's glove. Had a hard time pulling it out of there. Had his eyes set on 2, got to it nicely, and then right here just can't find it right away, and then said, take the safe out. The only out at that point.
Well, that gives Bogarts a chance. That's something that against this lineup you just can't do. 3 outs, tough to get against this lineup. Bogarts with a triple and a double tonight. Woo, it's a strike. He drove in 2 with a triple in the first, opened the 4th with a double. and scored the tying run. Boston breaking the tie here in the 5th. One and one. We'll go to 2 balls and a strike. Bogaerts last year hit 10 home runs and drove in 62 runs. He has 74 runs batted in right now.
Wow. Following suit like everybody else in this lineup.
Pitch in on him and he pops it up. Wendell makes the call. Out by the bag at second. 1 run, a couple hits. We're through 5. 4-3 Boston. Three runs in the first on 4 hits. Double by Joey Wendell chased home the first 2. Carlos Gomez promptly singled home Wendell. The Rays were off and running. And in the bottom of the first, Red Sox came right back on the triple by Xander Bogaerts, scoring Benintendi and Martinez. They tied it in the 4th. The leadoff double by Bogaerts keyed that. Nunez with the RBI single. And in the 5th inning, with Betts, a leadoff double, Moreland singled him home. And we go to the 6th inning. It's 4-3 Boston. Tommy Pham with a 1-ball, no strike count against the lefty Johnson. And after a shaky first, Johnson has settled in and allowed really nothing to the Rays outside of a walk to Perez in the 5th. Inside. 3 runs, 4 hits in the first. And then nothing since, with the exception of that walk. Retired 13 out of his last 14. And the count goes to 2-2.
He started to find the range with the curveball, and that's a big pitch for him. A nice change of pace off of the 88. You know, you're going to see it at 73, 74.
Shot back into right. Betts turns around and runs to the spot and makes the catch. He turned immediately to where he anticipated that ball was going to be, and he made the catch.
Just angles off the bat, understanding, you know, these guys are so efficient with their routes. They're out there taking balls off the bat during batting practice, honing their skills, and it's fun to watch when you see an outfielder make those quick open hip turns, go right where they think it's going to be. They turn around, and that's where it is. I mean, yeah, that's a gift and a lot of work.
C.J. Cron checked in time on ball one.
Buck Showalter used to take outfielders out into the outfield, and actually had done it with me. It was really interesting. Is he would take the outfielders out there at the different positions and have them during batting practice turn their back towards home plate, and then based on the sound of the ball off the bat, point left, right, or above you on where that ball was headed. And if you really start to pay attention, you can tell by the sound what direction it's going to go in. It's pretty incredible.
Thrown out in front of that pitch, now behind in the count, 1-2. Cues this one foul. Well, it's hard to get better than Betts. There's some great players active today, but boy, he has been special since he first came up.
And seemingly getting better. I mean, he's put together his best season to date. His runs batted in numbers are down a little bit. Drove in over 100 last year, but he's hitting leadoff.
Yeah, he's hit 27 home runs leading off, and he's now scored 100 runs. The run he scored in the fifth was number 100.
That's just as incredible as J.D. Martinez at over 100 runs batted in already. And he's scoring a bunch of runs. Still driven in, what, 64 coming in? Boy, you imagine him in the middle of the lineup, how many he'd have?
Down to third, grabbed by Nunez. It's out number 2 here in the sixth. MLB at Bat, your #1 Rays app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this year. Get Rays home screen icons and features such as MLB TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Here's Joey Wendell. Upstairs. Strike on the outside edge, 1-1. The 27-year-old left-hander, Brian Johnson. 1-1 with Wendell. And the breaking ball stayed in that time. It's 2-1. Up a strike on the edge. 2-2. Lined off the screening. Rebounding onto the field.
I hate how they have my man down there. You know, they give you a helmet, not even a double ear flap helmet, so make sure you turn your head the right direction, but no glove. How do you not give him a glove?
Now it's a 3-2 count. Well, technically speaking, he's security. And then you have the ball girl behind him, and she has the glove. So he's depending upon her expertise, but he's in front of her.
He is. He's in the crosshairs. And he'd have plenty of time to rip the glove off if someone came out on the field. And by the way, with the screening, there's no one getting on the field anywhere near him. Yeah, maybe, you know what, Dwayne? With him being security, maybe he should have a bat. A little 35-32. That would end it quick.
Little Billy Club. It's a high fly ball back into left field, sending Benintendi to the wall. That's going to be right off the wall. And down to second with a big turn goes Wendell with a 2-base hit, his second double tonight. Well, that ball coming right down on top of the scoreboard there. And boy, for a moment it appeared that it might lodge up there, but it bounded down.
Brian Johnson not going to get to finish what he started here in this inning. That ball up and away and skied to left, and it comes right down. Right there, Benintendi realizing I'm not going to be able to make a play on it. And there it is off what that little ledge you're talking about.
So 5 2/3 for Johnson. Pitching change coming for Boston. Jackpot scratch-offs from the Florida Lottery. A new spin on a classic. They're loaded with prizes from $10,000 to $2 million. So unleash the excitement anytime. The Florida Lottery. It's your ticket. Claim it. Brian Johnson, the lefty out of the University of Florida, made 94 pitches, 52 strikes. Leaves with a man on, allowing 3 runs to this point on 5 hits. Retired 15 of the last 17 men he faced.
That's the thing. You know, that's not the prettiest of lines, but I'll tell you what, the way it started for him, that line is gorgeous. He really settled down after that rough first inning and allowed his offense to come back and ultimately take the lead here.
Heath Hembry's going to be the new pitcher, and Jake Bowers will pinch hit now for Carlos Gomez. So the Rays want the left-handed bat here against the right-hander. Wendell at second with 2 outs. And that pitch foul. Look out. Kevin Kiermaier standing off to the left had that one bound just behind him.
See, he has a bat. Yeah, you got to be alert, but you're still not expecting anything off the bat your way when you're on deck, especially where he is at.
Rays go to the bench with a man in scoring position and 2 outs. Upstairs, 1-1.
Remember, Heath Hembry used to be known as El Dorado. He had the flowing mane up the back of that hat. He has tightened things up. Don't even recognize him.
Up and away with 94. It's 2-1. It's Kiermaier on deck, hoping to get a chance to bat here in the 6th inning. Wendell has put up a threat with a 2-out double. Foul. Mounting behind Ozzie Timmons and up into the Fenway stands. bit of the equipment down there as well. Everything appears to be in working order. Two and a cut and a miss. So Bowers strikes out. That retires the side. It's 4-3, middle of the sixth, Boston.
Game. Let's start with Malik Smith going hard into the wall, selling the body to make the play. That did not feel good. Hat into the crowd. We're getting a hug there from Carlos Gomez. He knows all about that right field. And then how about Jackie Bradley Jr.? An absolute missile off the bat of Tommy Pham. And he's able to go and hit it before it gets to the wall.
All of that through 5.5. We go to the bottom of inning 6. Ian Kinsler ready to lead off for Boston against the Rays right-hander Yanni Chirinos. Ryan Stanek, the opener, touched for a couple runs in the first. And now Kinsler. Look out, that one's sailing right over the top of Kinsler's head. And Chirinos wants a little work on his footing.
It looked like the off speed. It was 86 miles an hour. Maybe that split kind of stumbled out of there. Ball sailed.
Two 2-0. Nunez will follow, and then Swihart. A 3-0 count on Kinsler. And that's ball 4. Well, for the third consecutive inning, the Red Sox put the leadoff man on base. First walk issued by the Rays right-hander Chirinos. Here's Nunez. Picked up a run, batted in with a base hit in the fourth. Fouls it out of play. Strike one. 4-7-0 for Boston. 3-5-0 for the Rays. First game of a 3-game series. With you again tomorrow night. And then on Sunday afternoon. Runner breaks. Pitch lifted into center field. Kiermaier's there to make the catch. On his way back to first, Kinsler. And he'll be there with one out. Pitching matchup tomorrow night. Tyler Glasnow will make another start for the Rays. David Price for Boston. Here's the catcher. Mike Swihart, he's 0 for 2. Move to first on Kinsler now. Stepping back, Swihart. Still waiting for the first pitch.
Trying to get in sync with his catcher, Yanni Chirinos, keeping an eye on Kinsler over there at first base. Lead not overly big at this point.
And now a ball. 1-0. Again, a move to first. Kinsler kind of back and forth over there. Tried to set up a lead that time.
But he definitely has the attention of Yanni Chirinos. He said his lead is not overly big, but this is a team that up and down the lineup, they will run second in the American League in stolen bases.
That pitch nips the inside corner. 1-1. Alex Cora, last year the bench coach for Houston. Ground ball right side. Out at second, throw to first, not going to be in time. The Rays do manage to get the lead man, Kinsler. Swihart reaches on a fielder's choice. At the end of the night, that ball just not hit hard enough to get the double play on.
No, and you can see Kinsler trying to get in the way of that baseball, let it pass by in front of him, close to maybe distract Joey Wendell. And really that return throw from Willie Adames over to first did not have a chance.
Now Bradley Jr. pitches down, 1-0. Chirinos trying to pitch around the leadoff walk. He was victimized in the fourth with a leadoff double. The Red Sox scored a run to tie. Victimized by a leadoff double in the fifth, and they scored to take the lead. Fly ball lifted into deep left. Pham looking up, and that ball's high off the wall. Swihart's going to head to the plate, and he will score without a play on the opposite field double. That makes it 5-3. So for the third straight inning, Boston puts the leadoff hitter on, and they score.
Just cannot do that in this ballpark against this lineup. And Jackie Bradley Jr., this offense is relentless. They just keep coming after you in waves. Tommy Pham, look at that ball, almost got out of here too, a couple of feet, and that's a 2-run blast.
And it's second for the top of the order, Mookie Betts. It doesn't get any easier. Betts doubled and scored in the 5th. It's low. Betts up for the 4th time. Chirino's facing him for the 3rd time. It's 2-0. Benintendi waiting on deck. High pop fly, shallow center. Wendell is out there to make the catch. We'll go to the 7th. The Rays trail 5-3. On this day in 2004, 19-year-old B.J. Upton belts his first major league home run, becoming the first teenager to go deep since the Dodgers' Adrian Beltre in 1999. We use B.J. Upton freely because he grandfathered us in. We don't have to use Melvin Jr.
That may have been just you, Dwayne.
I think it could be expanded for the booth.
By proxy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right. Well, the Rays find themselves down by a couple now. It's 5-3. Ryan Brazier on to make his 16th appearance for this Boston ball club. He got a fastball in the neighborhood of 95 to 97, somewhere in there.
How about that opponent average of 148 to go along with that minuscule ERA?
Well, a third of an inning for Hembree, picked up a strikeout. And now there's 98 on the first pitch to Kiermaier. Foul back, strike one.
Well, I want to see a game one time with Ryan Brazier on the mound and Corey Blazier behind the plate. Calling balls and strikes. I feel like I'm on the set of dodgeball.
There's a base hit the other way, just out of the reach of Bogaerts. So Kiermaier is aboard, and the Rays put the leadoff man on base for the first time since the first inning when Malik Smith singled to start this game.
They're trying to claw back in. I mean, Boston came from all the way Well, they've come all the way back, being down 3-0 in the first to take the lead. So getting late, got to answer. Great start.
Willie Adames at the plate. Fouls it the other way. Strike one. Over to first. Kiermaier is back in. Quicker little toss over there this time. Upstairs. 1-1. Make it a 1-2 count. Too high, 2-2. Frazier was originally in the Angels organization, dating back to 2007. Here goes the runner. The pitch is fouled up the right side, out of play. Kiermaier standing on second now, will return to first.
Can the Rays bottom of the order get something going here? Good start by Kiermaier. Adames, he's been swinging the bat well.
Upstairs. Count is full. Goes a swing and a miss, throw down, and Kiermaier is out. Trying to steal second. Kinsler putting the tag on it.
How crisp was that play? First of all, the fastball up in the zone, crispy, to get it by Willie Adames, and then Blake Swihart comes out firing. And how about this grab by Bogaerts right into the sliding Kiermaier? Excuse me, Kinsler. He catches that right on the belt.
So strike him out, throw him out, double play. Kiermaier caught stealing for the third time this year. And now a fastball strike to Perez. So the Rays get the leadoff base hit and lose it on the attempted steal.
Well, and it was the double play in the first inning. And all of a sudden, with 2 outs, the Rays came to life and scored 3 runs. So you're hoping they can pull off that stunt again.
Perez down 0-2. Stay tuned in the middle of the 7th inning for the Ram game break, brought to you by the all-new 2019 Ram 1500. One ball, 2 strikes. feet of Perez. 2-2. And Perez tried to check. He's out on strikes. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Brazier. Let's go to Rich and Doug in the studio for a Ram game break. Well, thank you, fellas. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning with the Rays down by that 5-3 margin. Andrew Benintendi will lead off. Kevin Cash and Ryan Stanek as the opener. Has been Yanni Chirinos since then. 70 pitches for Chirinos as he begins work here in the bottom of the 7th, throwing a strike to Benintendi. Benintendi has a base hit in 3 at-bats and a run scored. Now 1-1. Stanek gave up 2 runs in the first inning. Two and 1 the count. Matt Barnes up in the bullpen for Boston. Up the middle and backhanded. Adames comes up with it and makes the play to first. Nicely done. Positioned well on a sharply hit ball, and Adames takes care of that.
Yeah, that ball was absolutely ripped. A hard one hand to the backhand side of Adames. So you swing him where he is. A couple of steps over. Strong throw. Nice hop.
1 away for Mitch Moreland, who takes a strike. Skies it to left. Pham looking up, and that ball is going to be off the wall. Pham will play the carom, and I'll tell you, in almost every ballpark in the world, that's a fly ball, but it carried off the monster for a 2-base hit for Mitch Moreland.
I was wondering what was wrong with Tommy Pham. I thought that ball off the bat didn't have a chance. We know what the Green Monster, you know, and what it's like out there and how it comes into play an awful lot. But this ball looked like it was popped straight up. And you can see Tommy, watch him. He starts to drift, and then, well, that's going to be a high off the wall. That's exactly what it was. Cannot believe it carried that far.
J.D. Martinez shoots it into left. Backhanded by Pham. Moreland heads to the plate. The throw will be to second. And in the span of 2 pitches, the Red Sox have another run. It's 6-3. Martinez driving in, run number 105 on the year.
Well, like we said, this is a relentless offense. They just keep coming at you. That's how quickly they can score. That 2-seamer runs right into the swing, stays up, and J.D. Martinez pulls the hands through, and it just lasers one to left.
Xander Bogaerts 2 for 3 tonight. It's a fastball in off the plate, 1-0. Tripled in a couple runs in the first, doubled and scored in the fourth. Popped out to Wendell at second in the 5th inning. Now too high, 2-0. Well, the Rays had allowed 9 runs through 6 games on this road trip. They've given up 6 runs tonight in a little over 6 innings. That's a strike, 2-1.
That's double what they gave up in Toronto. Now the pitching has been so good on this road trip. Everybody getting involved, always well prepared. You see Kyle Snyder and Kevin Cash with the game planning.
A foul ball off his foot. Bogaerts hits the deck, grabbing his left shin.
Boy, he hit himself hard. I'd be surprised if he stayed in. Oh man, and there's just no protection there.
Yeah, that's a direct shot. Training staff and Alex Cora out there immediately.
Hang in there. Yeah, you pound one of those off your foot and it's no good. Off the front of your shin, where you have nothing but bone and skin. Legitimately. Wow.
Well, he's back in with a 2-2 count. And pops it foul on the very next pitch. Out of play it goes. Well, the Rays saw a lot of the Red Sox early. Come into this one, having played them 19 times already. They've gone 4-9 against them. Line shot. There's a base hit. Going to go to the wall. Martinez heads to third. The throw back to second on a double for Bogaerts. His 3rd extra base hit tonight. Well, that shin must feel a lot better now.
It certainly looked like it. And I'm going to tell you, Yanni Chirinos here in this outing has not been as sharp as we normally see him. The sinking action on the fastball hasn't been, north and south. It's been more east and west. There's another one right there, just like the one to Martinez. Instead of that sinking, that ball is up, so it just kind of runs in and ends up running right into the swing. And everything looks good there with the legs.
Triple double and a double. They got him out only once on a pop to second. Kyle Snyder out there. Castillo starts to loosen in the bullpen. Pitch count for Chirinos over 80 right now. You see 83 with 51 strikes. One out, two more men in scoring position, and Ian Kinsler will bat. It's upstairs. No ball, no strikes. Ground ball third. A tag attempt, safe there. Throw to first, out there. Nice play by Duffy on the backhand, and an immediate tag on Martinez down at third. He was on the bag. And so the Rays get the second out of the inning with men still at second and third.
Pretty heads-up play, too, by J.D. Martinez, not venturing too far and able to get back there before the Duffy tag. And then make that throw over there and at least get one out.
Hitter is Eduardo Nunez. Which is too low. Nunez drove in a run in the fourth inning. And a wild pitch that's going to bound all the way into the stands, and Martinez will cross the plate. Bogarts goes to third. So the wild pitch makes it a 7-3 game.
That breaking ball down in front of the plate. Not much again that Michael Perez could do, trying to slide over, and that ball high off that left arm and up over the screen.
Line drive to short, caught by Adames to retire the side in the seventh. Two more runs scored, 7-3 Boston. Well, the Boston Red Sox hold the lead as we go to the 8th inning. It's 7-3. Rays scored 3 in the first. Boston scored 2 in the first. They've added single runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, and 2 more in the 7th. So the Rays come in with the top of the order here in the 8th, facing Matt Barnes, hard-throwing right-hander who also features the curveball.
Well, he's done great work. How about 81 strikeouts in 52 innings over 51 appearances?
And there's Smith takes that breaking ball for ball 1.
That's the curveball that you were talking about. He throws it hard. He gets good depth with it.
Two and 0. Little tap. That's going to be a tough play. Barnes bare hands, throw to first, just got it.
Dwayne, you mentioned his velocity, the hard thrower. He needed every little bit of the MPHs to get Malix at first. Well, I thought that ball off the bat, Malix's speed from the left side, he was going to be able to beat it. The Rays are taking a look at it. And here's that bullet. Does it get there in time? Oh boy, is that close.
Well, they will take a look at this play.
You know what? You're getting into desperation mode. Late in the game, Boston pulling away. Got to go for it.
You know, Barnes, one of those guys who's interesting. I mean, you can see that fastball 96 and that curveball, how good that's been. Look at that. Foot on there. There's the ball in the mid or not. You know, if you stop it there and slow it down, is that going to be clear and convincing?
Yeah, here's the interesting thing, too. Yeah, look at Mitch Moreland's setup. You know, he's not stepping towards, he's not stepping in this direction towards Matt Barnes. You know, he's kind of squared off, catching that ball out in front. You know, if he's got that right leg a little bit, closer to Barnes, that glove's further out there, and you got a chance to have that ball in there a little sooner. So that right there is a break for the Rays to make it that close. Now we'll see if they get the call.
And they do.
There you go.
So it's a base hit from Alex Smith. Some hustle there. The Rays challenge. And Alex rewarded with his second hit of the game. Leadoff base hit from Alex. Matt Duffy at the plate. Pitch inside, and it just brushed him. So Duffy is aboard, just brushed by that pitch. The Rays put 2 men on with nobody out.
There's the breaking ball, comes squirting out. Yeah, it did. It caught that little edge of that hand. You could see the batting glove move.
But when Cora wants to look at that.
Okay, well, they'll lose theirs, and we'll have 2 runners on, and off we go. You could see it brush the hand. Watch the outside of that batting glove right there. I mean, that's minuscule at best, but I don't know how you overturn that definitively.
Right now, the Rays have men at first and second. Barnes waiting this one out. waited for the decision on Malik Smith, and then a pitch later he's waiting again. And when it's all said and done, it's a hit by pitch.
I mean, there was nothing that you saw that would be definitive to get it overturned. That was just a waste of a challenge there.
The impartial jury here in Boston booing. And so it's first and second with nobody out for Tommy Pham. Pitch is a strike. Pham, nothing of two. He was robbed on that great play back in the third by Jackie Bradley Jr. in center field. He hit a hot shot line drive headed for the 379 marker. And Bradley Jr. got back there and made a leaping catch. And how he did it, we're still trying to figure that out.
We've got guys working on it.
Working on the acceleration and the launch angle of the center fielder, his own launch angle. And walked and scored his first time up. The pitch is wide, 1-1. Well, Pham capable of a launch angle himself with a couple men on. That would make it interesting.
Yep.
14 home runs on the year for Pham. And he takes a big cut and fouls it. 1-2. Rays have been out hit 11-7. They trail 7-3. Seeing if they can build something in the eighth. Oh, Pham takes that for strike three call. That will be out number one.
Elevated heaters to set up curveballs down to set up elevated heaters. That's exactly what Matt Barnes does and what he did here. Use the hook to then follow it up with that, and it locks up Tommy Pham.
One gone. Here's C.J. Cron. And he misses the fastball. Strike one. Cron doubled and scored in the first inning. Chase the high fastball, 0-2.
You remember when C.J. Cron got into a little trouble in June? It was this right here. It was him expanding his zone. All of a sudden, July, he goes off again. Kind of got things back in order. But Barnes right here able to get him to start expanding and expanding up. It's not where Cron wants to go.
Up more there, and he would not chase that high.
I don't know how you'd swing at that pitch. You'd have to go all lumberjack on it. The only guy that I know could get to that pitch is who's the kid from the Astros with the beard, no batting gloves? Evan Gaddis.
Gaddis.
That's
Gaddis can get up there.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a lumberjack anyway.
He is.
1-2 popped up. The infield taken by Kinsler. So 2 outs in the 8th inning with 2 men on. coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your local Honda dealer features on walk-off home runs and the pitching matchup of Tyler Glasnow versus David Price. Our coverage begins at 6:30 tomorrow. Now it's Joey Wendell. Wendell is 2 for 3 tonight. 2 doubles. And the pitch is a strike. Wendell at 296 on the year. Chase that breaking ball. Big break down and in. 0-2. Now the 2-strike pitch, and Wendell tried to check on the pitch down and in. He is out on strikes, and the Rays leave 2. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 7-3 Boston. All right, Rich, thank you very much. Bottom of the 8th inning, we'll find Diego Castillo in this game. His 29th appearance, 3-2 on the year. And he faces Blake Swihart, the Boston catcher. First pitch is a ball. Chirinos worked 6, gave up 5 on 9 hits.
And this Boston lineup has scored in 5 of the 7 innings that they've hit it. That's what we talk about with relentless. You know, you come in here and send the message that the Rays did in the first inning. 2 outs, nobody on, and attack this team for 3 runs, and you're feeling pretty good. And Brian Johnson settles in. The offense for the Red Sox gets going.
Swihart fouls it. He scored a run, reached down to fielder's choice in the 6th inning. Yeah, they came right back with 2 in the 1st. Rays shut them down in the 2nd and 3rd innings. But they scored in the 4th. Single run in the 5th, single run in the 6th, and 2 in the 7th. That's a wave through that pitch. Swihart out number 1 here. Tonight only Rays with a steal for you. Visit RaysBaseball.com/steal. You can purchase press level tickets to the game Saturday against the Red Sox for just $30. A 50% savings for Rays fans tonight only. So go to RaysBaseball.com/steal to get your deal.
And we're not gonna tell you again. So it's time to go get it done.
Bradley Jr. swings and misses strike 1. Now the Rays will see the Red Sox for the final time this year at Tropicana Field. Saw a lot of them early, including 2 visits here to Boston in April. Sometimes it's less than hospitable when you factor in the weather.
Just
0-2.
Another part of that strange schedule for the Rays this year.
Yep. Well, the Rays saw snow in the first 3 cities they visited this year on the road.
Yeah, got a snow out in New York. Got a snowman built behind home plate in Chicago.
A chopper handled by Adamas, 2 gone.
Then got the game in here with a built-in off day, and on the off day it snowed here in Boston. That was crazy snow.
Yep. Well, 2 gone. We're going to go back around to the top of the order. Mookie Betts. Now the Rays saw the Red Sox in 13 of their first 48 games.
And the way that Boston started the season, that you didn't want to see them in April.
No. Really don't want to see him now either.
No, well, that's a good point. Very good point.
I want to know the count here. There's a strike. But if you could believe it, their numbers, hitting and pitching, were better at the start of the year than they are now. And they're good enough right now. But their team average was higher. Team ERA was lower. 2-1 to count. It didn't make much difference either way. They were still winning. Yep. And they come in 50 games over 500. Betts sends a fly ball to center. Kiermaier's still going back. He's going to have room and makes the catch. A 1-2-3-8. On to the 9th. 7-3 Boston. Honda dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by your local Honda dealer. Rays in Boston. We go to the ninth.
Well, our T-Mobile built for baseball, Xander Bogaerts continues to torment the Rays pitching staff. Goes out and gets this full count fastball and gets it over the head of Kevin Kiermaier. Got a triple right there and knock in a couple of runs. Then later he would shoot a ball high, not high, but off that little ledge out there in left field. Another double would come around to score, and then his third run batted in, shooting that ball down into the corner off the wall. And that was, remember, that was that at bat. He took that ball right off the front of his shin. Recovered nicely and has had another great night. All extra base hits against the Rays, and I'll tell you, he averages about 1 a game against them at this point. Kind of crazy.
Jake Bowers takes the first pitch from Tyler Thornburg. Inside, moves it back a bit with the opening fastball, 1-0. Now strike 1-1. Thornburg, the 5th Boston pitcher in this game. Two and one. Rays scored 3 in the first. That's been it in the run department for the Rays. Came back and caught the corner. Fouled into the seats. Count still 2-2. Full count. It's Kevin Kiermaier on deck. Ground ball handled by Kinsler. One away here in the 9th inning. So Kiermaier 1 for 3. It's down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Fouls it away. Kiermaier singled and then was thrown out trying to steal in the 7th inning when the Rays tried to get something going. Had a couple men on, but nobody out of the 8th. Left those men aboard. And right back at Thornburg, who grabs it and fires to first. Hot shot off Kiermaier's bat. Thornburg got the glove down there. 2 outs.
Boy, flashed the leather because he didn't have a whole lot of time. See what kind of, boy, ended up grabbing that ball as it was already by him. A little laugh there at the end. That's what I found.
Here's Adames. Swinging through it. Big cut and a miss, 0-2. Upstairs, now 1-2. 7-3 ball game. Ground ball third. Nunez makes the throw to first, and this one is over. 7-3 the final. Boston over the Rays. Johnson will get the win. Chirinos will take the loss. Took 2 hours and 47 minutes to play it before 37,012 at Fenway Park. And Jackie Bradley Jr. turning in the play of the game. That came back in the third.